Hey everybody, welcome to Between the Lions, now I'm nervous about it, the bi-weekly bite-sized oral history of the ongoing mission of the
collective known as My
Soul
Among
Lions to put all
150 Psalms from the Bible to music. I think that's right.
Yeah, sure. Well, my name is Nathan. I'm your humble and obedient host. That's Philip Boyer right there.
Hey.
And Jacob Benzel right there.
Hey.
One of them thinks he's doing an NPR show, apparently. Guys, let's talk about Your Holy Hill, arguably one of the hits from the album. Your Holy Hill, Psalm 15. You guys were just commenting before we hit recorded, by the way. These psalms are way easier to adapt than...
The first 20... If you just look at them, and all you have to do is flip open your Bible and flip through the first 20 and just see, especially 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, all fit on 2 pages of the Bible, and that's with Psalm 10 running over.
Right.
At least the Bible I have open right now. That is just not the case with other big chunks of the Psalms, and so...
Well, we talked on our episode about Psalm 9 about the difficulty of adapting that because it's kind of a big grab bag.
And it's actually not that long compared to a lot of what we've been hitting up against lately.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was difficult. Like, you're going to have these massive epic, and we do have one of those in this batch. It's 18, and we'll talk about it in its place. Mm-hmm. But you get a lot more of that as you get into the 30s and stuff like that, which is what we've been hitting up against, where you really either have to decide what to cut, decide to divide into A, B, 34A, 34B, or decide to really condense and compress ideas.
Right.
Because otherwise it's just not going to work for worship. Or decide you don't want it to work for worship. It's just going to be a thing.
Psalm 22 is...
Psalm 22, Psalm 18.
Right.
Yeah.
All of which is to say that wasn't the case for the psalm we're talking about today, which is 5 verses, thematically unified.
Super simple. Yeah, that's right off the page.
That's the other thing about this batch. Even Psalm 18, for all its complexity and length, has one idea. You know,
exactly.
Which makes it a little bit easier than some of these 20s and 30s kinds of things. Okay, so Psalm 15. What do you guys remember about this?
It's about the simplest thing that I've ever written. And the same story as Psalm 12. Jody had a chorus, and it was just, O Lord, who may abide in your tent, who may dwell on your holy hill. And then he had, da 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 da, and then it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just...
That's super fun, right? I like being given something. Oh, okay, I've got all the rails. All I have to do is
and hammer everything to fit right inside these rails. Yeah, I love that sort of thing. It's like that's as easy and as fun as it gets, and it presents its own challenges, right? Like, I don't have to come up with something on my own. I don't have to determine the boundaries. The boundaries have all been determined for me, and now I've got a creative challenge, and that's how do I make this all fit and work? You're absolutely right. Yeah, it's just super fun. And so, this is one of the simplest, easiest, most fun songs that I wrote because I didn't have to get super deep. It was just a bit of wordsmithing, and there it was.
There it was. You just waved your magic wand.
I mean, if any of them felt like waving a magic wand, it was probably this one. It probably was less than... It wouldn't surprise me. I don't have a great memory of this album, but it wouldn't surprise me if this was a 20 to 30 minute job. Like less than an hour.
Well,
to just
King David's done us a favor by giving us a really simple, thematically unified psalm.
And so, so Jody had the chorus and a melody. The verses I wrote, and I just followed straight through. And and it does have, David gives us a through line, so you don't have to, it just falls right off the page, or falls right onto the page, I guess. So I don't feel like I did anything here. I feel like between Jody's melody and the psalm, it wrote itself.
Well, what do you remember about this one?
Well, we had a female singer.
We did. The great Corey Van Dyke.
Corey Van Dyke.
Proved herself by doing a cover of Psalm 3, right? So we had a cover contest going into the Kickstarter for this project.
Right.
And she submitted a cover of Psalm 3, which you guys can go and find online somewhere, I'm sure. And it was like, whoa.
Was it 3?
Yeah, it was a Psalm 3 cover contest. And or maybe she did a cover.
Majesty. I thought she did Psalm 8.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
She did a cover.
It was
did
just a cover. It was just a cover contest.
It was a cover
Yes.
contest. But then we did a promo video,
Right,
that was
and we
Psalm
had her
3,
do
and then we
something.
had her do
Yes.
that.
Yeah, I
That's
remember
Psalm
us
3 video.
in
You
the
and I went and
chapel with
recorded.
her and cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
So
And-
it was actually her submission that we didn't ask her to do for Psalm 8, Majesty, where we're like, whoa, this girl can sing.
Yeah. And she leveraged it into a gig. She leveraged
Yeah.
it into, what, 3 songs on this album?
Yes,
This one, and then
3.
a duet,
Yep.
and then another song.
Yep.
And then I think she sings some harmonies in other places, maybe.
Certainly, she's on the 3rd album. She was on Song of Moses.
Yep.
Yep.
She's the best. She's got a really
So,
haunting
yeah.
vocal quality.
And it's funny.
Powerful
So
pipes on that girl.
her husband, Alex, it was a classical saxophone player, right?
Mhm.
He went to IU, Jacobs
Member of
School of Music.
NASA, North American Saxophone.
Oh,
right?
okay. He was always saying, "Oh man, my wife has a great voice. You got to hear it sometime. You got to hear it. You got to hear it." But she's so shy,
Yeah.
and so it's actually really difficult to, or it was, at first to get her to
Yeah.
sing. She just wasn't comfortable. But man, her voice is just.
And I'd had a
beautiful.
chance to hear it because Alex I did their premarital counseling, and Alex had played some old videos of her with a guitar.
Yeah. So then we asked her, I think we made a video of this song,
Yeah.
Holy Hill, at
Mhm.
Yeah.
Jody's living room with Cole Tutino playing cello and Jody singing and backup.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And it's great video.
And that was maybe still for promotional,
Right.
as we're working on this album and kickstarting
I
it.
think that's right. Yeah.
And then that was just that's the version right there. How do we
Pretty much.
how do we
Yeah.
how do we top that on the album?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess we're
Yeah.
we're stuck with Corey.
Yeah. Yep. So we recorded it, pretty much that version. We've mentioned in a earlier episode that this song is one of the biggest successes in terms of congregational songs. I noticed when we toured and we would play in different churches, people picked up on this really quick
Yeah.
Yeah.
and were very receptive to it and like, oh, can I have
the music for
the
this.
music for that? I want to sing that in my church. And then
Yeah,
they would. And
It's just you play this in a church, and it doesn't really matter what the church is. Everybody can imagine their congregation singing it, and it can be a piano only
Mhm.
hymns or whatever congregation, or they can be we've got a rock band and whatever, and everybody can imagine how this song fits. This song works.
Mhm.
It just works. And
Cross genre appeal.
Yeah.
What can we say?
If you are to do it congregationally, I recommend you do it in a different key.
a different key than the album.
We took that key for Corey. It just suited her really well. Typically, we do it in the key of G, not C, and it just sings a little better.
All right, let's give a listen to Your Holy Hill, Psalm 15.
Lord, who may abide in your tent, who may dwell on your holy hill. Oh Lord, who may abide in your tent, who may dwell on your holy hill. unto his own hurt, and who never takes a bribe. He's honest in everything he does, never moves or turns aside. Oh Lord, who may abide in your tent, who may dwell on your holy hill. Oh Lord, who may abide in your tent, who may dwell on your holy hill. Oh Lord, who may abide in your tent, who may dwell on your holy hill. Oh Lord, who may abide in your tent, who may dwell on your holy hill.
Hey, if you like this song, you can buy it on Apple Music, Amazon, Bandcamp, wherever you buy your music. You can also listen to My Soul Among Lions wherever you listen to your music, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, whatever. You can go to clearnotesongbook.com for free charts and lead sheets if you'd like to use this song in your worship. And you can support My Soul Among Lions at warhornmedia.com/give.